Thank you for being with us on the Feast of St. Francis de Sales. Our top story tonight, former President Donald Trump secures victory in the New Hampshire primary. He is the first Republican to win the opening races in both Iowa and New Hampshire since 1976.
Thank you very much. We love you. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. We'll see you on the trail.
Meanwhile, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley says the race is far from over and she will stay in the running. The Haley campaign will turn its eyes to South Carolina, the primary there next month, a state where she served as governor. On the Democratic side, President Joe Biden won his party's primary through a write-in effort, making a rematch of 2020 all the more likely. And joining us now live from Manchester, New Hampshire, is Philip Crowther, international affiliate correspondent for the Associated Press. Philip, great to see you again. So does this look like the Republican primary season is over so soon after it begun? And is former President Donald Trump the inevitable nominee?
Well, it certainly looks and feels that way, doesn't it? There are still a lot of delegates to be collected by the eventual nominee, meaning that there's still a long time until we'll be able to officially, 100% officially say who the Republican nominee is going to be. But there's a lot of momentum, that key word in politics. There's a lot of that with former President Donald Trump after winning Iowa with just over 50%, winning here in New Hampshire also with over 50%. That is quite significant, with a margin of around 11% between former President Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. That is also pretty much exactly what the Trump campaign would have wanted. From them, there are now increasing calls, though not necessarily from the candidate himself, for Nikki Haley to drop out of the race. She's not doing that yet, but really this is a Trump campaign that wants to move on, that wants to pivot toward the general election against President Joe Biden.
Well, Philip, I want you to listen to the soundbite here from Nikki Haley following the announcement of the result.
Now, you've all heard the chatter among the political class. They're falling all over themselves, saying this race is over. Well, I have news for all of them. New Hampshire is first in the nation. It is not the last in the nation. This race is far from over.
Well, Philip, obviously she thinks this race is far from over. Do you think it is? And where does her campaign go from here?
I'll tell you what, her tone was quite surprising to us, and certainly it was to Donald Trump himself as well. He was not just surprised by it, he was angered by it, that she made this look like a victory night for her. That certainly was the view of Donald Trump. Wasn't a happy man last night despite his victory. So what Nikki Haley now is doing is she's essentially saying that she will stay in the race for another month at least, because that is when the South Carolina primary takes place. That's her home state. That is where she was the governor. But it is also the state where she is lagging behind again in the polls when you compare her to Donald Trump. He is very much the favorite in South Carolina as well. Another thing that is not working out for Nikki Haley in her home state is that most of the high-ranking elected officials, well, they have already endorsed Donald Trump. And in fact, there are more and more of the big hitters in Republican politics who are now in line with Donald Trump and who are now endorsing him. Still, though, she has organized quite a few rallies in South Carolina this week. She has released new adverts for TV. She says she's staying in this race for another month, and then maybe if it goes well, all the way till Super Tuesday. But remember that a month is a very long time in U.S. politics. A lot could go wrong, and indeed could go right for her during the next 4 weeks.
Well, Philip, we have about 30 seconds left or so, but quickly, I know this is not your first go-around. You've covered primaries in New Hampshire before. That being said, what stuck out the most to you this time around?
I'll tell you what's different really is that this feels like a foregone conclusion that Donald Trump is going to be the nominee. I remember 12 years ago being here in this exact same spot in Manchester, and there were election night parties all down Elm Street that you see here behind me, because there were so many Republican candidates in the race. I think there might have been 8 or 9. Now we were left yesterday with 2 viable candidates. That really is what's different. And why is that the case? Well, because the grip that Donald Trump has on the Republican Party is so noteworthy, not just here in New Hampshire, but essentially nationally as well.
All right, Phil, thank you so much. Live for us in Manchester, New Hampshire tonight.